Back here with Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, where we're in the middle, knee-deep into a trial, I would say. Maybe even waist-deep, perhaps. And it's definitely the twistiest, turniest one we've had so far. I'm like, still not at all sure I know anything. Usually, by the midpoint, I'd be like, okay, I have a pretty good idea of the situation. Well, I guess case 2, I was like, I didn't realize it was Mondo until like the very last second, really. But with case 1, I was like, Leon's really sketchy throughout. In case 3, I was like, Celeste is sketchy before we even started the trials. I was pretty confident we weren't going to get in here and it was going to be like, we're going to pick one person, focus them down, and it's going to turn out to be them. I was assuming there would be some back and forth like we had with Yasuhiro and Toko, but then now I'm like, well, Byakuya's been really weirdly quiet. Hina's been like really overly accusational, but maybe she's just really feeling emotional about Sakura, which that would be fair and in character also. So I just don't know anything and I'm going to carry on without predicting anything smartly because I can't.
But anyway, I'm not the one that killed Ogre, so that's good.
So that's good. Keep talking like that and Hina's gonna...
Well then, that's that. Let's start the vote.
Huh? I thought for sure you'd have some words for Hiro on that one.
Wrong. Come on everyone, we're ready to vote, right? Let's do this.
Yeah, Hina's been like really weird about... If you really wanted justice for Sakura, you'd be like, let's be damn sure now that there's any doubt. Host,
No.
right?
Not quite yet.
Huh? Not yet? Why not yet?
Don't you think there was something odd about Toko's story? I mean, you had to have noticed.
Now I'm leaning back toward Hina, which I said I'd be really annoyed about, and I think I probably will be. Oh shoot! Wait, if Hina's candies were poisoned somehow, and she gave it to Sakura by accident, would she become the killer in that case? I wonder. No, if they're gonna make Hina be the killer for Sakura, it's gonna be because she felt betrayed and didn't know how to process it, or because she thought no one would ever suspect her. Because why would anyone? But yeah, she's starting to seem really sketchy. I literally ended last episode being like, I'm not sure. And now the second this episode started, Hina's like, let's vote, let's vote, let's vote, let's vote. So I'm like, okay, wait, this is starting to look really bad.
Odd. Huh? Hiro's attack, and then Toko's, but that still wasn't the end of it.
It wasn't?
Tell us your story one more time. Tell us what happened after you fainted. Then even this gaggle of idiots should understand what I'm talking about.
Your wish is my command, darling.
It's not over yet, is it? The one who killed Sakura is... Yes, yet to be decided. Kyoko's examination summary says to Sakura's body, yellow powder. Maybe that's what we're trying to get at here. Is the poison is yet to be brought up, like, at all.
I was just sleeping peacefully, and all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me.
What is she like?
Waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
You were taken by
Or are we saying that
surprise when you
she
saw
couldn't have
Ogre
reached the
covered
bottle?
in blood. So you smashed her head in with the Monokuma bottle?
You got it! I smashed her good!
And where did the attack take place?
At the magazine shelf, presumably.
I woke up. I killed her there in front of the shelf.
Okay, right. So we're saying why would you have been able to reach a Monokuma bottle from there, I guess? The main problem here is if the second attack from Toko really was the killing blow, how did she get that weapon at that point? So I don't know whether I'm supposed to put the bottle on I killed her in front of the shelf, or the shelf on I killed her in front of the bottle, or with the bottle.
When you saw Ogre covered in blood. So you smashed her head
Ah,
in with the Monokuma
Monokuma was
bottle?
one of the ones who said something here because I saw it.
I smashed her good!
Oh wait, hang on. Monokuma bottle wasn't able to be lit up.
Attack take place.
Right where I
That was
woke
no
up.
time for laughing.
I killed her there in front of the shelf.
So why was she found in the shelf? I guess we want to put status of Sakura's body on I killed her there in front of the shelf? Oh, no, I probably want to put it on she was covered in blood, right? Because it's weird that she's covered in blood if we didn't find her covered in blood. Is it status of Sakura's body that says that? Because all it mentions is the trace of blood on her mouth. Or are we saying that she couldn't have hit Sakura in the back of the head when facing her? I don't know. Okay, just give it, goddamn second to look at all the 3 evidence pieces I have. We've got... Oh, wait, shit. What were they? Hang on. 3 bullets are status of Sakura's body, yellow powder, Kyoko's examination summary. Okay, sorry. Status of body, examination summary, yellow powder. With our 2 orange points being in front of the shelf, and she was covered in blood. So I'm fairly sure what we want to say is that she was not covered in blood when we found her. It shows it in the picture here. So I can put that on Ogre covered in blood. No, that's not... It's fine. No, she was totally covered in blood when we found her. You're absolutely right here. No blood was found on either of her hands. I'm not supposed to put that there, am I? And the fact that, again, there are only 2, it makes me feel like
You were taken by
we're supposed to
surprise when you saw Ogre
do a memorize here.
I killed her there in front of the shelf.
But if the second attack from Toko really was the killing blow, then why not, then why didn't, maybe they want me to put status on Sakura's body, the fact that she was found in the chair, because we're saying Jill wasn't strong enough to carry her there. Again, I think it's worth disputing because she can punch metal into concrete, but I'll try it.
I killed her there in front of the shelf.
Ah, okay, I get it. That makes some sense, but I feel like I should be able to say she wasn't covered in blood when we found her also. Like, the status of Sakura's body should really work on either of those points. Because there are two contradictions. One, she wasn't covered in blood when we found her, and she wasn't in front of the shelf. Full stop. So, it's unconscionable that only one of those works, but okay. I see why they thought that was fine. Again, it's just wrong, but I see why they thought it was okay.
If the blow by the shelf was the cause of death, there's no explanation why she was in that chair.
So, you finally noticed.
That's just another lie from a bloodthirsty serial killer.
Are you sure you didn't attack her while she was sitting in the chair?
No, I'm sure she's telling the truth. Anyone who saw the murder scene should think the same way.
That has to be it. The evidence that proves there was an attack in front of the magazine shelf. The bloodstain? I got it?
Sakura was definitely attacked in front of the shelf. The blood stain by the magazines is proof of that.
Why are we saying that couldn't have been vomited?
Then she must have moved the body after she killed her, right?
I don't really understand
All
that.
to make it look like I did it. Because when I hit her, she was sitting in the chair.
Hey, come on now, look at me. I can't carry anything heavier than my own scissors. There's no way I could move a muscle-bound heavyweight like that.
Then what's the deal?
Well, are you still convinced the case has come to an end?
But
Plus, the biggest mystery of all, the locked room, still has yet to be explained. Until we take care of that, we can't say this case has been properly settled.
oh, that part's easy. After she killed Sakura, Toko just hid in the locker again.
Not when we saw it.
So she just hid in there till everyone showed up and opened the door? And while everything was all confused and hectic, she just snuck out of the locker into the group.
No, I don't think that's possible.
The reason there's no way Toko was hiding in the locker is because I was in the locker. I saw it for myself. I got it! Kyoko did too, more importantly. We have to corroborate that.
Hina and I both got a look inside. And at that point, the locker was already open. So obviously Toko couldn't have been hiding in there.
Low angle.
Then, where was she hiding?
I don't know. What's this whole locked room thing about anyway?
How do you not know? You killed her!
I think the fact that I don't know proves I didn't kill her. Thank you very much. You're lying.
No, she's not. I've been saying all along, there's still more to this case.
But if Genocide Jill didn't do it, that means Ogre didn't die from the shot to the head.
And
Well, I can't imagine what else could have killed
Oh,
her.
Hina, it was you! God damn it, because no one would say that after all those poisons. Could we really be missing something so important? If there's another possible explanation, maybe it's the yellow powder on her shoe. Would we finally get to say that? Again, there's no reason in hell we wouldn't start by bringing up that there was poison all over the place and that there was some on her shoe. But anyway,
What was it that killed Ogre?
I'll start with the yellow
Was it
powder,
from
but
Genocide Jill's
we might want me to
attack?
put the Monokuma thing.
And what was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything other than the shot to her head. So you're dead set on blaming me, huh?
Okay, I think they want me to put yellow powder on. I can't think of anything other than the shot to the head. Really, if they did, then it should have been that I can't think of anything was the yellow, not the shot to the head. So let me just listen to that one more time. Okay, it's not that. I'm supposed to say yellow powder on shot to the head, I'm fairly certain. But yeah, there's no other possible cause should be orange, or I can't think of anything should be the orange, not shot to the head. Oh, okay, because that was wrong. Good. Come on, Makoto, don't claim up now! They want me to put the file because the vomiting blood? So I was not supposed to know that the yellow powder was the Chem C9?
What killed
How the hell was I supposed to know I wasn't supposed to know
I
that?
can't think of anything other than the shot.
Oh, that's stupid. No, that's wrong. Of course it's a poison. What else would it... Oh, okay. Or at least, like, if it isn't a poison, I'm supposed to assume it was a poison, right?
Sakura had vomited
Oh,
blood.
that's dumb.
I think
Why would you
we
even
can
include the
assume
yellow
there's a
powder
chance
one as
this
one of the
was
3
related
bullets?
to her cause of death. In fact, there was even a trace of blood left around her mouth.
Well, I mean, maybe when she got hit with the
I'm not
bottle,
trying to be
she
picky,
tucked it
but it's
inside of her
really
mouth.
dumb.
If that's all it was, the file wouldn't have specified vomited blood. Not to mention, I didn't find any cuts inside her mouth.
And trust me, I was looking.
You even checked in there? God, you really are into dead bodies.
No, I'm not.
I don't think
into
you get
dead
to
bodies.
say that.
What I'm into is solving mysteries.
But if there wasn't a cut or anything, then what made her vomit blood?
Some sort of reaction within her body. Most likely, Sakura was poisoned.
Poisoned?
That's right. This is the conclusion I've arrived at, and so there can be no mistake.
Round of applause for Byakuya. Man, it was hard fought, but he got there so fast. Poison. He's so brilliant. God, I wish I could be like him.
You're making me go all weak in the knees! She was poisoned? It isn't possible.
Is it really so hard to believe? Then let me explain exactly how the culprit was able to poison her.
You can explain it?
Of course, if you don't mind.
Everyone quiet! Shut up and listen to Master!
But you're the only one talking.
The key to unlocking this mystery was hiding in the chem lab up on the 4th floor.
Huh? Not in the rec room? Then I could have found it all along.
This is what I'm saying. It wouldn't hurt to have you guys investigate
Never
too.
would have, since you gave up on the search the moment you were barred from the crime scene.
Well, yeah, good point.
There's a big shelving unit in the chem lab that houses a variety of mixtures and chemicals. And that's where I found this.
Is that the poison?
It's not an especially powerful poison, but it'll still kill you if you drink an entire bottle. But the specific properties don't matter. What does matter is where I found it.
Where'd you find it?
The shelf is divided up into 3 sections, A, B, and C. In section A, dietary supplements. In B, reagents. And in C, a variety of lethal chemicals.
And that's where the poison came from? Section C?
But there was a bottle in Section A.
That's the question, isn't it?
Bottle of poison, Byakuya just showed it. I'm sure I know where he got it. Hold on. It doesn't let me check my evidence now, but... There was one in Section A. I got it! But there was also some in Section
Actually
C.
in Section A, wasn't it?
Huh? But you just said that Section A was for supplements or whatever.
Strange, isn't it? Why would there be a bottle of poison mixed in with all those nutritional additives?
Yeah, so? Why?
Because the culprit switched it out. That's why.
What do you mean?
I mean, this.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Byakuya put the bottle of poison to his lips and...
Master!
We were so shocked at what we were seeing, all we could do is stand there and watch. But as if it were the most natural thing in the world, Byakuya was as calm as ever. That bottle's way smaller than any of the ones we found in the shelf.
Oh no! Master's in real trouble! You have to drink some water! You can't just swallow powder! It'll stick to your throat!
Idiot! He just swallowed poison! We need to make him spit it out!
The flavor certainly makes me want to spit it out. What's so high quality about this stuff?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the protein, of course.
Protein?
Can I see that bottle for a second?
Sure. Do whatever you like.
Kyoko took the bottle from Byakuya and scraped out a bit of the contents with one finger. She touched her finger to her tongue.
It's protein powder.
Correct. That wasn't poison in the bottle, but harmless protein powder. Which makes one wonder, the poison that should have been in that bottle, where did it go?
The bottle of poison was actually filled with protein powder. I don't understand why we're saying the killer would have left it in the A shelf, though. Which would mean that conversely the poison must have been in... Could it be? Oh, another hangman, is it? The proteinzyme X, surely. Once again, I don't think that was really... Oh, protein drink, they want me to say. Okay, so P... Oh, wait, slow down. Damn, man. You're trying to, like... What are you trying to do with me? Okay, then we need an E. There's got to be one around here somewhere. Surely there are E's in the alphabet. I know there are. You can't fool me, Danganronpa. I know the letter E exists. Seriously, though. Anytime. I'm on a time limit if you could be convinced to... Okay, thank you. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, I should have put that in there. My bad. Bang, 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 bang. And then D-R... R... 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 There we go. Thank you. A, and then K. If we just get just one sweet little... Yeah, there we go. Thank you. No, bring that back. Okay.
Now
I understand.
The poison must have been poured into the protein can.
I was starting to get worried because I was like, from this moment, before we even saw the crime scene, I was like, they're gonna poison her proteins IMAX because they made such a big deal about it. And then it started to not be part of it. I was like, oh, maybe they just poisoned the candy. I started to actually doubt myself. Like a loser.
If the protein's in the poison bottle, it seems only logical to assume the reverse is true,
I wasn't
right?
baselessly confident like a cool person.
Absolutely. The contents of each container were switched. So the protein was in the bottle of poison, and the poison was in the protein can.
I get you said you need to drink the whole bottle to kill someone, but you're still pretty bold drinking one, considering it has traces of the poison in it. You're gonna be at least a bit sick the next few days, right?
Once you accept that, it becomes obvious how the culprit was able to get Sakura to drink the poison.
Holy crap!
All they had to do was hand her something there at the scene, and she was happy to drink the poison.
Makoto, would you care to share with the class what it was? Sorry, it's protein drink, but I got a window spinning that I want to get rid of. Hang on, I got it!
You're
2 seconds,
saying
2
they
seconds.
gave her a protein drink, right?
A protein drink which actually contained a deadly poison.
What?
That's all it took to kill Sakura. That is the true cause of death.
You know, I do remember Ogre saying that protein stuff was good for all kinds of aches and pains.
You do?
Maybe
I don't remember her saying
she
that
took it
once.
to try and help with the whole bleeding head wound thing.
Yeah, could be.
But what was offered to her instead was a bottle full of poison. And I already know exactly who swapped the mixtures.
Do you indeed?
Who was it?
Well, I guess
Evidence
the
revealing
shoes.
Who replaced the two materials was left in the chem lab for
He's saying the
anyone to
footprints
see.
are Hina's. The evidence that shows who switched them, it has to be the footprints in the powder. I got it!
Done! The footprints left behind in front of the shelf.
I don't think I'm going to get an A rank on this one,
That's
everyone.
the evidence you're talking about, isn't it?
I visited the chem lab this morning, and there were definitely no footprints there at that point. They must have appeared around the time of the murder, which leaves no doubt that they're connected. What's more, the footprints were in front of Section A, where I found the bottle meant for the poison. The culprit must have gone to Section A to swap the poison and protein, leaving their footprints behind. And given how clear the prints were, figuring out who they belong to will pose no problem.
I don't understand. Sorry, why are we saying that the bottle was probably already smashed when they did their footprints? They must have appeared around the time of the murder, which leaves no doubt they're connected. What's more, the footprints were in front of this. But why do you assume that they happened before the person did the swapping, and not that they did it after to cover something
All
up?
we have to do is check everyone's footprints right now. Then we'll see who...
It was me. The footprints. They're mine.
Hina?
If you're all gonna find out anyway,
Okay, never mind. Wait on it. Maybe it was Byakuya. I don't know who it was. Never mind.
I'd rather you hear it straight from me, you know?
Then Ogre's killer was...
Yep, I did it. I killed Sakura.
Just as I suspected. The footprints were made by a pair of sneakers. There was no mistaking it.
I'm a little surprised she has
The
smaller
only
feet than
people
Makoto
here
of
who
Monos.
wear sneakers are...
Sneakers, huh? The only people wearing sneakers are Makoto and Hina. Oh, that's why you asked me first. I got it!
Me and Hina are the only ones.
And I think
So
Hifumi had some. He's dead, obviously.
that explains why you...
That's why he immediately was like, these are yours, right? These footprints must be Makoto. Are they yours? No? Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself.
If the footprints didn't belong to Makoto, that left only one other possibility.
Just Hina.
Plus, Hina's been acting strange ever since the trial began.
Well, everyone acts strange all the time in this game for at the drop of a hat, when they're not guilty of anything. So that means nothing. But
You
sure,
were in an awful rush to
whatever
get
you
to
say,
the vote,
Byakuya.
weren't you?
But yes, I noticed that also.
You've been
The second
focused
time,
on
anyway.
pinning the crime on someone else, haven't you?
I can't believe it.
What about it can't you believe?
Well, it's just... the two of them were so close.
That's likely exactly why it turned out this way. Because they were so close, Sakura didn't think twice about it when Hina handed her the concoction. Hina used that trust to kill her. She deceived the victim, and she tried to deceive all of us. I have to say, Hina, coming from you, this was a particularly nasty little scheme.
Hina, is it true? Did you really... kill Sakura? And if you did, why? Why would you do that?
I found her. There in the rec room. She was hurt. She asked me to bring her that protein drink, but when I went to get the powder from the chem lab, it just occurred to me all of a sudden.
Now's my chance to kill her. That's what you thought, right? That's when you switched out the protein powder, and that's when you gave her the poisoned mixture.
And then she downed it all at once. And then
Hold it. I'm not convinced.
Yeah, it kind of seems now like she's saying it was like halfway an accident or something.
You're not about to claim she wouldn't kill a close friend, are you?
So I just don't know anymore.
Get it, do you? The game we're playing here isn't so kind. Honeyed words like friendship don't matter here. What matters is outwitting the opponent, defeating them. Not a person alive would sacrifice themselves for another. In the end, we're all in it for ourselves.
History is full of many pieces of evidence to the contrary, but
Just
you
like
believe
how
what you
this
will.
girl sacrificed Sakura to save herself.
You say that, but I'm still not convinced.
How many times do you plan to repeat yourself?
Until you shut up and let her examine something
Don't
else.
misunderstand me. I'm not saying it because of some misguided sentimentalism, but there's still that one unsolved mystery, and I'm not convinced.
I still feel like there are three things I
Talking
understand,
about the
but...
locked room
Oh,
problem?
right.
Hina, if you really are the killer, explain it. How did you create that locked room?
well, that doesn't matter. Just because I'm guilty, that means I have to tell you everything?
No, it doesn't. But the fact that you won't tell us concerns me.
It almost feels like she's covering for someone else, but that would be a ridiculous thing to do because unless she thought someone else was the killer, then who would she save of this bunch? I don't know.
Surely you're not... Do you honestly think Hina didn't actually kill her?
And if I do?
Impossible. She switched out the mixtures. She's the culprit. There's no way you can doubt this.
Are you sure about that? Even ignoring the
Now it
fact
feels like
that
they're
I
saying
don't wanna
Byakuya.
believe it,
I don't know.
it just doesn't fit.
What doesn't fit?
I mean, why would someone leave such a clear clue like a footprint?
See, that's what I said earlier, but then like no one brought it up, so I was like, okay, I guess we're just saying fuck it. They did. Oh, this game. I think that's the thing with the mysteries in this game. It's like there's a lot of stuff where it's like, I guess in hindsight that makes sense, but there's like 6 things that could have made sense if they explained something else later. That well, half the words in the suspicious details just mean nothing whatsoever. Again, why would someone leave such a clear clue as a note that said to the victim that said, please look at the nameplates that I definitely didn't swap? That would tell you they swapped the nameplates. I don't mean to keep harping on that point, but if you present that as this is the level of intelligence the characters are operating with, of course I'm going to believe you. And never question it again. In the first trial, no less. Anyway.
It's too obvious. Too easy.
He's right. It makes it look like you wanted people to suspect you.
I was just nervous. So, I didn't notice I'd left a footprint.
You didn't notice?
Yeah, that's just how it was. What can I do?
Listen, Hina. Could you go into a bit more detail? Tell us more about when you switched the poison and the protein.
How come? That doesn't matter.
Hina, please. I'd like to know too.
Fine.
Waste your time if you like. It's clear that Hina is the culprit. There's nobody else to suspect. Nobody else could have possibly done
Wow,
it.
Byakuya.
Go ahead, Hina. Start from the moment you arrived at the chem lab.
Just wow.
Well, right away I went to Section C and got the poison.
And is that when you spilled the powder in front of that part of the shelf?
Yeah. When I opened the bottle, I dropped it like an idiot.
I see. Okay then, go on.
So then I moved to Section A and got the protein powder, and that's where I switched them. Once I was done with that, I took the protein can that had the poison in it and left the room. But I accidentally put the bottle filled with protein powder back on the wrong shelf. And because of that, everything I did got found out. And that's it.
When you say the wrong shelf, do you mean the right shelf for protein powder or the wrong shelf for the bottle? If I'm understanding. Sorry, let me just look at that transcript again. So you're saying you dropped the bottle and then like jumped out of the way so you didn't leave any prints? Alright, that definitely sounds weird.
That story you just told. First you went to Section C to get the poison. Then moved to Section A to get the protein, right? Meaning you went from Section C to Section A. Do I have that correct?
Yeah.
But if that's true, why did the prints only show Section A? Isn't that a little strange?
Can you repeat that series of events one more time?
What's wrong with you, Big Mac? You're being awfully pushy.
It's the same thing no matter how many times you hear it. How long until you're satisfied?
How long? Until I figure it out. Until I uncover the full truth of this case. I didn't really think Byakuya at all from the beginning there, but of course that was because of my crackpot theory about he's gotta be the last boss, basically. But
First,
it's
I
certainly
went to
seeming like it
Section
now.
C. That's when I grabbed the poison.
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I think what they want me to say
Section C
is
to Section A.
we should have seen footprints going
And
from Section
that's
C
where
to
I
A,
switched the powders.
if that's true.
Once I was done switching them, I put the bottle filled with the protein powder back in Section A. Then I took the bottle with the poison in it and left the chem lab. That's all there is to it.
Honestly, that's enough. How much longer must we tolerate this?
I was making sure that was all the orange, so I'm pretty sure what they want me to put on the is.
First, I went to
If she's saying that the
Section-
footprints,
that's when I got
And you spilled some
the
of the
powder
powder.
appeared here,
Okay,
and the footprints
only
should have
from
demonstrated
Section
this, I
C.
think is what we're saying? Okay, good. No, that's wrong!
That's wrong.
At first I thought she was just saying, I dropped the powder in front of me, like I was standing far enough back that I
You
didn't
said you
leave
went
any
to get
footprints.
the poison from Section C.
Like I walked back
and
out
that's
and
where
around,
you
but
spilled the powder, right?
which is a perfectly logical explanation, I think. I don't understand why that's impossible, but because she didn't say it, I guess is what we're
Yeah?
saying.
What about it?
And after that, you said you moved from Section C to Section A to get the protein. But the footprints left at the scene were not moving from Section C to Section A. That contradicts what you just said.
Like, sort of, because there's room on the right side of Section C that you could have been reaching. You could have been on the right side, opened it, dropped the bottle to your left, and then the dust all came out there. And then you obviously saw all that, and you were like, I don't want to get this on my shoes. And then so you walked around, only going to Section A. Although I guess they're saying if you had noticed the stuff was on the ground, well, how could you not know it was on the ground? So yeah, that's it's weird that they're like, this unequivocally proves you're lying about this, but I understand what they're saying. If they wanted to do that, what they should have done, obviously, was make the powder go all the way to the wall, and like much wider, so there's no way it was possible to drop the bottle and not leave any footprints leaving Section C, because as it stands, it's totally possible, and everyone's just being like, that's impossible, when it obviously is possible. But I understand what the point they were trying to get at is. And obviously, I still, it didn't prevent me from making this solve.
Then maybe she moved in some weird direction on purpose to disguise her movements?
Makoto's gonna say, well, she wouldn't have done that, and not noticed the footprints then, and which is nonsense, because obviously she didn't necessarily move in a weird direction on purpose.
No, that can't be it. Remember what Hina just said?
I was just nervous, so I didn't notice I left a footprint.
What the? Hina, what's the meaning of this?
Well,
You lied to us. Plain and simple. If you look at the footprints, your movements in the chem lab are obvious. The powder had already been spilled when you came in, and you went straight to Section A. So you never went to Section C. Whatever you did there, it only involved Section A.
well, you see...
Touch ankle, hello. Oh my god. My neck, my poor neck.
What the hell? What's going on here?
And the footprints
Damn.
aren't the only problem with her account.
It's freaking out.
Before I explain that part, I'd like to submit some new evidence.
Exciting!
New evidence? Impossible, there can't be.
Are you sure? After all, you're the one that gave it to me.
I did?
It was hidden inside the bottle of poison you gave me. I'm amazed you, of all people, would miss such a vital clue. A truly grave oversight.
Just say it already! What is it you think you found?
Dude,
I
he is
found
flipping
this.
it. Huh? A piece of glass? A blue one.
It had sunk to the bottom of the bottle,
God damn, it's a good thing Byakuya didn't just drink it.
and the hidden clue was exposed, thanks to you ingesting the powder. I couldn't have solved the mystery without you. So, thank you for that.
But, what is it?
Oh, you still don't realize? Well then, Makoto, why don't you explain it?
Huh? Me?
Fine. If you really do know, explain the meaning of that shard of glass.
I don't really understand what it being in the thing has to do with anything, but it looks like it was from the window.
I
got it!
It's part of the window from the rec room door, right?
So we're saying it was broken and then repaired or something?
The window we broke to get in was light blue, just like that. So I think that must be it.
You're right. It must be. Of course, that leads to another question. How did a shard of glass from the window get inside this bottle of poison?
What's so strange about that?
What's strange is that, according to what Hina told us,
Where was it the bottle of poison should have been when I broke the rec room window? Okay, 2 seconds. The bottle of poison with the protein powder in. It should have been in the Chem Lab A because she put it back there. Shelf A, right? According to what Hina told us, it was on section A of the shelf. I got it!
the bottle of poison was left on the shelf in the chem lab. That is what you said, right, Hina? And yet, somehow a piece of glass from the rec room window made its way into the bottle.
Everything Hina told us was a lie?
In reality, that bottle of poison most definitely found its way to the rec room. It was there at least until the window got broken. In other words, when the locked room was unlocked. There's no other way to explain the presence of that glass in that bottle.
Sorry, you said it should have been in there. Sorry, run that by me one more time. It was there at least until the window got broken because it's got shards of the window. Okay. We're not saying the window was broken twice or something stupid like that. Good.
And then, once the room was opened, the bottle somehow got moved back to the shelf in the chem lab.
Which, it wasn't Hina. Hina and Kyoko were guard duty. Makoto didn't do it. Toko and Yasuhiro immediately went back to the rooms. Byakuya suspiciously immediately went to the chem lab in a really weird way. We're saying he did it.
Meanwhile, the protein can we found at the crime scene was planted there. That had to be after the locked room was opened. In other words, after Sakura died.
So Makoto saying that the can was rolling around was just complete bullshit nothingness that had nothing to do with anything. Got it. We are saying the can was immobile on top of glass, placed thereafter.
Wait, hold on. You're moving too fast. I'll grant you, the bottle of poison may well have been in the rec room when it was locked, but how can you say the protein can was put there after the room was unlocked? We already know she was given the protein can with the poison inside, right? If that can wasn't there when she died, how did she get poisoned?
You're right. We do need to explain that.
Makoto, will you take this
But
one?
before we do, there's something I'd like to confirm with everyone here.
Huh?
It has to do with the protein can. After Sakura's body was discovered, did anyone move it or trip over it or anything like that?
What are you talking about? Is this some kind of loaded question?
Not at all. Just answer to the best of your ability.
I'm not sure why you'd even ask that, because Byakuya would just say I did.
Well, no, not that I remember.
Yeah.
Why would you not just say you did it? Oh, okay, well, because he doesn't realize what it means that the glass is under it yet, for some reason.
Yeah, me either.
Okay then, that settles it. That proves that the protein can found its way to the murder scene after the room was opened.
Oh, come on! How can you say that? How can you know what I don't know?
The reason she can say that is because there's evidence. There's proof that someone brought the protein can to the rec room after it was opened. Shards of glass underneath it. I don't know how to say that, obviously. I guess empty protein drink. It does mention in that entry, I'm pretty sure. The shards being underneath. Hang on, just let me make sure I'm right about that. The shards, no, sorry, yes, empty protein drink. The shards of glass are under it. Right, okay. When it comes to that protein can,
There's not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was unlocked, it absolutely was not in there.
So you're saying someone planted it there after we got the door open?
No, that's impossible. It had to have been in there the whole time. It had to be. It was in there before the rec room was unlocked.
I think not. No, that's wrong!
That's wrong. You remember
I
how
thought it was
there
gonna
broken
crash.
glass scattered all around the room, right?
Of course. It came from the window you broke to get in. What about it?
Well, those pieces weren't just scattered around the protein can. We also found pieces underneath the can.
What?
And this proves it. It shows that the can must have been put down on the floor after the window was broken. So it had to be after we got into the room.
I see. So that's your explanation. Kyoko, earlier when you asked if anyone had moved the can or tripped over it...
Yes, that was the point, to make sure
If
that...
that were the case, that would explain the can being on top of the glass.
So you asked everyone about it to eliminate that possibility right out of the gate.
Before anyone uses it as an
And
excuse.
that's made everything clear, hasn't it? As long as it was a locked room, it only contained the bottle of poison, and not the protein can. But once the room was opened up, they were switched, and as a result, the protein can wound up in the rec room, and the bottle of poison returned to the chem lab.
So I don't understand what this means for... Are we just saying I'm confused about what that means for... The poison was ingested somehow other than the protein Zymex, I guess we're saying?
That's all true, then why did Sakura drink
Why did she drink the poison if it was just in a bottle marked
I
poison?
thought we all agreed she was tricked into drinking it because of the protein can.
No, that's not why. The only explanation is she drank it from its original bottle, knowing exactly what it was.
So are we saying this was a suicide then,
Precisely.
maybe?
She was alone in a locked room. All she had was the poison. What other possibility is there?
You're saying she drank it knowing what it was? Such a ridiculous fiction is...
Exactly what happened.
Then tell us already. Sorry. Please, tell us.
Before we get to that, we need to clarify one other thing. We need to establish who exactly got the poison from the chem lab and took it to the rec room.
So are we about to say there was no killer, she took her own life, which case Monokuma being like, I don't know who the Blacken is just complete nonsense. He absolutely knows she did it herself. That would be kind of weird.
It was Hina.
Well, it would be extremely
She
weird.
took it and gave it to
It would go in the
Oda.
face of everything the game has told us.
What do you think, Makoto?
What? The one who got the poison from the chem lab and brought it to the rec room had to have been... Got the poison from the chem lab and brought it to the rec room? I don't know. Sakura? I got it!
I think it was Sakura herself.
Huh? So Sakura, who was apparently murdered, just poisoned herself?
Well, let's be clear. That was what was said, like, 20 seconds ago. So they told me Sakura poisoned herself and then asked me who brought her the poison. So the question was not who poisoned Sakura. That was weird, okay.
What are you talking about? There's no way!
On the contrary, we know for a fact she went to the chem lab, right to the section full of poisons.
You're lying!
We do.
Stop lying! Why? Why would you lie like that?
No, it's not a lie. Sakura definitely went to Section C. I have to get Hina to admit that. I'm confused. Oh, it's another bullet time battle. Okay, right.
You're a liar!
I'm not. I am nothing of the sort.
Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already!
Sorry.
You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you!
It's weird that they're not actually giving the speech bubbles the same things she actually... They're not... The speech bubbles aren't saying what she's actually saying.
What are
That's
you
weird.
saying?
But anyway.
Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already!
My mind's still like racing about what all this actually means, so I'm like...
Wrong!
having
You're
trouble doing the
wrong.
timing. Anyway, bang.
I hate you! You're a liar! I'm telling you, I did it! I hate you!
Okay, I'm panicked. Okay, she didn't actually use her super at any time there. That was convenient. Ah, wait, start fire actually, though. Actually fire, though. Sorry.
You're wrong.
Okay, final strike, but source
Do
of the
you
powder...
have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
What's on her shoe, I guess?
This should prove it.
I hope.
Hina, did you know that Sakura's foot had a certain yellow powder stuck to it?
It did?
It did. The same yellow powder that had been spilled by the shelf in the chem lab. That powder was yellow, wasn't it? So the powder we found on Sakura, What else could it be but the powder from the chem lab?
Wait. So, what was that powder doing on Ogre's foot?
So, why are we saying there's no possibility whatsoever that it got on her foot when she drank it in the rec room? Or, necked it dry?
And it was only on her instep, right?
Sakura must have been standing right there where the powder was spilled. So the person who spilled the powder by the shelf wasn't Hina, but Sakura.
Which we're saying she would have done if she had a head wound at that point?
And when Sakura dropped the bottle, she dropped it away from where she was actually standing, which is how she was able to avoid getting it all over herself. But the powder still got scattered around, and some of it must have wound up on her instep.
Hold on a minute. Sorry. So all of a sudden, what the fuck? Okay, so now they're making sense. They're saying, well, because the powder doesn't go to the wall, clearly she was just standing beside the shelf when she dropped it. But before they were like, that's impossible. If anyone spilled it, then they absolutely positively would have left footprints going through it. What the hell does this game mean? Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, please. I love you so dearly, but you sound like an idiot. Whatever.
Is there any problem with my thinking?
But
None
why
whatsoever.
did Sakura pay a visit to Section C in the first place? The only explanation is that she was looking for poison. After all, that's all that section contained.
Are we gonna get at she was going to try and poison? Are we saying it was suicide, or are we saying she was going to try and poison, like, someone else with the candy or something?
No!
I don't know.
It was me! The poison! Because I killed her!
No, you didn't kill her.
The one that killed Sakura. The connection between Sakura and the poison, the unsolved mystery of the locked room, there's only one way to explain it. For Sakura herself. I'm sorry, just give us, just as soon as I remember where it is.
Here's my answer.
Here's my answer!
The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
What? The killer was Sakura?
Wait, so you're saying
So,
it was suicide?
Byakuya was freaking out because he genuinely didn't know what was going on?
I don't believe it any more than I believe I can fly!
I can't believe it either. Or rather,
I don't believe I can touch the
want
sky.
to believe it. But when you really think about it, everything matches up. Sakura went and got the poison. She barricaded herself in a room, and she drank it.
And hoped and asked 3 people to meet her there because she wanted them to find the body and not hear the murder chime so that they would know it wasn't a murder. I don't really know what we're saying.
She could end her own life. And that explains why we couldn't solve the mystery of the locked room.
Because of course, Sakura wanted to create the locked room.
The locked room mystery was created by Sakura.
I'm sure she locked herself in so nobody could stop her from doing what she did. She sat there, drank the poison, and breathed her last breath. And the empty bottle of poison rolled around the locked room until we came and opened it. At that point, someone grabbed the bottle and snuck it out of the room. And that was you, wasn't it, Hina? You did it to throw off the investigation, didn't you? When we found her body, you stayed right there near the door because you already knew Sakura was dead. And because the bottle of poison
I did think she
had
didn't
rolled
seem
near
all
the
that
doorway.
surprised.
That's when you picked up the bottle, right? I was too shocked to notice anything. And Kyoko was busy checking the body.
And the more I think about it, the more I realize how unusual your actions were.
I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room.
You said you were going to go get everyone else, but your real intention was to go to the chem lab and switch out the containers, wasn't it?
So are we saying
Once you were
Hina
at the chem lab, you headed straight to the section where the protein powder was kept.
messed with it in the hopes of getting everyone to die because she was that upset, or just because she didn't want Sakura's memory to be tarnished? This is weird,
There,
but okay.
You took the powder and poured it into the bottle of poison you'd grabbed from the rec room. When you left the lab, all you had was the empty protein can. Thinking about it like that, the footprints make perfect sense.
When you were done, you gathered everyone together. And once you were back in the rec room,
I got everyone. Ogre! Ah, so she's dead, huh? Sakura's been killed. I see.
While everyone else was focused on Sakura, you quietly placed the can on the ground. Honestly, I should have noticed. You should have been the first one to run up to Sakura's lifeless body. The Hina I know never would have left her side in a situation like that.
So, Sakura committed suicide. In order to hide this fact, Hina undertook a series of actions to undermine the investigation. As long as you could disguise the truth, you didn't care if we blamed you for her death.
I had considered the possibility of Sakura taking her own life at some point earlier than this, but then I was like, that would very much go against her character of always fighting to be as strong as possible in any given situation. Unless she went out doing something that was getting closer to beating the mastermind. So I still don't really understand why we're saying she just suddenly was like, never mind, screw this.
That's why you didn't bother to get rid of such obvious evidence, right? The footprints in the powder and the bottle of poison? Vital pieces of evidence. And yet...
So you're saying Hina consciously deceived us to make it look like she killed Sakura?
No! No! I killed her! I did it!
That's enough, Hina. It's over.
It's not! Nothing's over!
It is. Actually, no. You're right. We have to end this properly.
With a comic book! Alright. I'm definitely gonna get this all the way right. Okay, how many? It's gonna be pretty long, right? Okay, not as long as I would have imagined. Right, okay, so, tell me Tina doesn't get executed for this, though, right? Because she's not the Blackened, she didn't kill Sakura. Anyway, so you and then Byakuya are the ones, sorry, it's Toko, Yasuhiro and Byakuya are the ones who read a note. Toko went first and hid in the locker, so where is that? That looks like her coming out of a locker more like, doesn't it? Well, there are two of her in a locker. I'm gonna say this one. Looks like she's getting into it. Yasuhiro was waiting, how casual she looks hanging out there. So Sakura got more than one candy and just happened to give one to Hiro for no reason. Then heard her mutter whatever she muttered, and then he was like, Hayarg, better smack you with a bottle. Which one would that be? This one, I guess, with the knight flying out? And then freaking out, he did the fake writing of Toko. I am fairly confident. He ran away, she came out, saw that, and was like, well, that's not cool. And I guess she puts it back on the magazine rack? Oh, sorry, she does that here. So which one should we... Oh, first we see her getting out of the locker. Okay, I like, it literally could be either one, whether this is her getting in or getting out, right? I would say that looks more like she's getting out. But, she's particularly sweaty on the other one, right? But I don't know. Okay, well, it's fine. We got enough health to try it both ways. Sorry, and then she puts it back upside down on the thing, because she was panicking. Sakura gets up and was like, hey, what the hell? So where did the blood get off her? I guess we're saying Hina get all the blood off her face. She passed out. Sakura was like, damn, are you okay? Jill woke up and then was like, well, here we go again. Hit her again, and then windmilled out of there, grabbed the pieces, got rid of those. Sakura finally woke up again and was like, god damn it, I wish people would stop doing this. I guess at that point she was just so miserable and thought everyone hated her. That's why we're saying she did that? Okay. Then we found her there, and then Hina to put stuff back in the wrong shelf, and then I guess lastly did that. Wait, sorry, maybe it's like that, and then like this. No, sorry, that's the same one. Sorry, no, it's like that, it's like, yes, it's like that, and then what are we saying happened? I guess she pocketed that? Is that's what that image shows? That's close enough! I think I probably got the locker ones wrong, but...
This case began when Sakura asked a number of people to meet her in the rec room. Specifically, those people were Hiro, Toko, and Byakuya. But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others. Toko, she got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot.
Of course. How could I have possibly gotten it wrong? I'm so foolish. This one clearly shows her coming in and the other one clearly shows her coming out. There's no room for debate. She's sweatier in one of them. Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know at a glance? There was simply no way to explain it in any other manner than these two very similar looking images.
But one of them, she got...
You understand.
She crawled into the locker to get out of sight.
Oh, Danganronpa.
Then, from inside the locker, she saw Sakura enter the room. Next to arrive was Hiro. When he got there, he mistakenly thought Sakura was going to try to kill him, so he panicked. Without thinking, he grabbed a nearby Monokuma bottle and attacked Sakura with it. Thinking he'd killed her, he hastily began covering up his crime. He took a magazine from the table and forged a dying message from Sakura. To that end, he wrote down a name. Toko. By writing her name, he was hoping to pin the murder on her. But of course, Toko had witnessed the whole thing. So as soon as the coast was clear, she jumped out of the locker and hid the magazine on the shelf with all the others. But in her rush, she made one little mistake. She put the magazine back upside down. Soon after, she watched as Sakura slowly opened her eyes. She also
No, she
saw
didn't,
the
because if
blood
she was looking at her
dripping off
bloody
Sakura's
face while
head
her eyes
and
opened,
fainted.
she would have fainted before then.
This caused her personality to switch back over to Genocide Jack. When she woke back up, her second personality also saw the blood-soaked Sakura, and she freaked out. And just like Hiro, she grabbed another Monokuma bottle and attacked her. This explains why there
From
were
the shelf
two
somehow.
wounds on Sakura's head.
I don't get that
Assuming
still.
Sakura really was dead this time, she set about disposing of the evidence. She gathered up the broken Monokuma bottle shards and the queen chess piece. And that explains how Sakura was attacked twice with the same type of weapon. But even after those two blows, she was still alive. So then, what was Sakura's actual cause of death? It was the poison that Sakura herself
Sounding
got
real
from the
triumphant
chem lab.
for someone who's describing how one of his best friends took their own life.
She turned the rec room into a true locked room scenario, and then drank the deadly mixture. And there, she took her final breath.
Note how her hands are covered in blood.
Later on, the rest of us discovered that her body was in there. We had to smash the door's window to get inside. But someone already knew what had happened. Knew that she had committed suicide. And that same someone quietly snatched the bottle of poison from off the ground. And while nobody was looking, replaced it with an empty protein can. They did all this specifically to place all the suspicion
No way
on
that can
themselves,
fit in her pocket.
in an attempt to guide the trial to a false conclusion. And the one who went to all that effort,
Really dramatic, some of these
you, Hina.
reveal shots.
That's the full truth of the case. Sakura took her own life, and you claim to be the killer to hide that fact. Isn't that right?
That's what happened? But Makoto, how did you manage to... How were you able to uncover the truth that even I couldn't discern?
I don't know, Byakuya.
Oh, well, I mean,
You still haven't realized? We don't all act according to calculations and cost-benefit diagrams. That's what makes us so complicated. That's what you don't understand. And that's why you couldn't solve this case. See? Didn't I tell you?
That it would come back to bite
When you
you.
dismiss other people's feelings, it'll always come back to bite you in the end.
I thought you were going to leave that a little longer before as a callback, but sure, let him have it. Okay, so yeah, weird one. It's probably not as bad as the first two. I don't think it was as good as the third one in terms of just like general execution, but like, it wasn't like horrible. It's just very like. I mean, there's also the matter of like I genuinely didn't have a fucking clue what was happening the entire time. Because I was like, well, like I said, they give so many false clues that it's like when they're like, and that's why he said that at the end. I'm like, well, yeah, but everyone said something really, really weird. How was I supposed to know which of the really, really weird things was more weird than the others? Yes, it was really, really weird that Hina didn't run up to the body immediately and didn't seem that surprised she was dead. Yes, it was really weird that Yasuhiro concealed the wrapper. Yes, it was weird that there were 2 bottles missing, my message was hidden. I don't know. It's like, I don't always feel that this game, every line has been scrutinized carefully enough that there's any possibility whatsoever to be confident that so that's what that line meant moments are going to land at all. Because they usually don't for me. Like, when they're like, that's why Celeste said we're gonna die just like those guys died. It's like, yeah, well, she might have just been talking about the other people who died. That means nothing whatsoever. You're just picking, it honestly feels like they just picked a random line that was weird. That rather than write lines that aren't weird, they wrote a million weird lines and they were like, let's just pick one and then be like, that one's the one that was the clue. It's the mystery was hinted at the whole time. It's all cyclical. It's like, what are you doing? You had a great mystery written there. Why didn't you just leave it at that? Because this one was a really good mystery. Although I still don't really get the character motivations are pretty strange. Yasuhiro and Toko thinking they might have killed her accidentally and then trying to cover that up. That's a really cool part of it. And I totally buy that with their characters. I'm sure they're about to get into why Sakura felt she needed to take her own life. I would say that seems out of character for her. Generally? Because they're like, well, I better, what am I sitting around here for? Let's hear them out and then I'll see if it's dumb. It feels like they're about to say something dumb, though. Like, she just suddenly couldn't take it anymore. The dishonor of having been revealed as the spy. And it's like, yeah, well, if that was the plan, she would have done that earlier. She wouldn't have done it in a way that risked everyone else. That's, like, extremely un-Sakura-like behavior. Because having been attacked by Yasuhiro and Toko and then taking her own life makes it look like Yasuhiro or Toko did it, which means she's risking Hina, Makoto, everyone at that point, which is, I mean, maybe you're going to say just because she was concussed, but it just seems so unlike everything we know about her. So I want to hear where they're going with this. And ditto for Hina. Hina's very emotional and sentimental. I agree about that she would be, like, utterly distraught at the idea that Sakura would take her own life. But to actively try and kill Kyoko, Byakuya, Toko, Makoto, and Yasuhiro for that, and herself for that, just feels wrong. And I get it, like Kyoko just said, well, not everyone is calculated and flowcharting everything. It's like, yeah, but she's not that stupid. She would realize that she would be murdering in cold blood everyone else in this room, and it feels unlike her to do that, even if she was really damn upset.
Did you guys forget already? You still haven't voted yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You seriously forgot? I can feel my energy draining out of me.
Interesting, though, because it means we'll still be at 6 for the next trial, which means there could totally be 2 more chapters after this.
Well,
Christ.
whatever. You don't really have a choice anyway. You just gotta do it.
I had considered that possibility way earlier on. I think you probably remember, like, episodes 1 to 3, I was like, what happens if it's a suicide? But then I was like, How Long to Beat says this game is like 20 hours long, and I've been here for like 40, which granted it takes longer when you're reading it out loud, but I was like, there can only be like 1 or maybe 1 more chapter after this. I don't know. Never mind.
Maybe you don't want to, but please grab your lever and cast your vote. So, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
He's really forcing himself to it. We're saying Sakura, right? But they're not going to vote Hina. That would be really dumb. Because she's, if anything, an accomplice in this. Okay, good. Are they gonna give us the Donkey Kong thing? They aren't.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
Right.
Okay, we're done here.
What
So
did you
that's
say?
the whole truth, huh? I see. But there's still one thing I don't understand.
Come on.
Hina, why did you try to cover up what happened? If the truth hadn't come to light, you would have died along with the rest
What
of
are you
us.
thinking?
And yet you... Why did you do that?
Don't be mean.
Yeah, we almost died there!
Is this?
Because that's exactly what I wanted. What? I mean, the reason Sakura died is because all of you pushed her into a corner. You all killed her. So that's why
You should have been the
I
one
couldn't
to
let her
die.
be the only one that died.
What?
You don't mean you were gonna take us all with you?
We have to atone for our sins. Because everyone, even me, we all killed her. We all have to pay for our crimes. For serious? That's...
What is
You
this?
still don't understand? Then let me explain. Do you realize just how much despair Sakura was carrying with her when she died? Look at this. Such brutality has made me desperate. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand. That's... I found it on the ground in front of the rec room. It's Sakura's suicide note. Suicide note? Thinking back, I should have seen it coming. It was right after Genocide Jack had attacked me. Sakura got mad and stormed out of the nurse's office. I ran out after her and... Sakura, calm down. You don't have to worry about me. I'm fine. I can't calm down. I don't care if I suffer for this. It's my fault after all. But now you're suffering because of me.
Forgiveness.
You tried to protect me, but because of me,
I can't forgive
my closest friend got hurt. Sakura,
I...
because of me, my friends are all going to kill each other. This is all my responsibility. Sakura thought she was responsible. She thought everything was her fault, which is why she wanted to find some way to get everyone to forgive her. So she asked to meet with them. You asked to meet with those three? You can't! Don't you see how dangerous that is? Don't worry, I just want to talk to them.
But,
Talk about what?
Listen,
Listen, don't do it. If they all gang up on you at once, even you... Please, don't think of things like that. They're not my enemy.
They're friends.
Sakura. She clearly believed. She completely believed in all of us. If you just talked to her, you would have understood. She was a friend to all of us. And yet...
why?
And yet... You trampled all over her feelings, and then you did the unthinkable. No, that was just a misunderstanding.
What are you saying?
Don't stand there and call it a misunderstanding. She believed in you, and you wouldn't even listen to what she had to say. Without asking a single question, you tried to kill her. Do you have any idea how desperate she was seeing you act like that? That's what her suicide note means. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand.
Why?
That's how far you pushed her. Sakura, what happened to you?
Hina.
You came. Wait right here, I'll help you out.
Hina.
Huh?
I'm so glad I got to meet you. What's wrong, Sakura? Why are you talking like that?
have a favor to ask.
Huh?
A favor?
Some protein.
Could I ask you to... Yeah, you got it. Just hang on, I'll be right back. That was the last conversation I had with her. Wait, she already had the poison at that time, and... Or you're saying you brought her the poison? I went to the chem lab to get the protein she'd asked for. When I got there, I saw the powder. And that's what I realized. I saw that someone had taken something from the poison shelf. Sakura. Okay, she had it before that point. So I ran back to the rec room as fast as I could, but she'd already done it at that time. But by the time I got there, it was already too late. Sakura!
Please.
Let me in! Please open the door!
Why?
Why?
Why did she have to die? She had weaknesses just like any other person. If she got cut, she bled. If someone hurt her, she felt it. That's weakness. That's normal. And yet,
Why?
you all blamed her. I tried to protect her and I suffered for it. And that just added to the weight she had to carry. And I didn't even realize it. Hina, we killed her. All of us. We pushed her into a corner and we murdered her.
Why?
People like us shouldn't be allowed to live! And that's why you tried to lead us astray. You did your best to make us arrive at the wrong conclusion during the class trial. Sakura died hating all of us. I wanted to free her of her regrets, but even that got found out. In the end, I wasn't able to do anything for her. I could never face her after this.
I'm sorry to interrupt when you're about to deliver the final tearjerker, but it's just taking so long. I'm about to fall asleep over here. I mean, do you really think you have any idea what Sakura was actually thinking when she died?
What did you say?
Everything you just said is nothing but your interpretation, right? Your own opinion on what her suicide note meant.
What are you saying?
Of course I know what she was thinking. Because her and me...
In other words,
Well, what I'm really trying to say is...
indeed.
Don't you think the entire foundation is shaky? What if it was really... like this?
What the heck?
What is that?
Of course.
Isn't it obvious?
Yep.
A suicide note. Sakura's suicide note.
What? But Hina already...
Oh, I wrote that one. It was all me, baby. This is the one Sakura addressed to Hina and put in her room.
What? Then you lied to me? Okay, you know what? Fair play to this game, because for a minute I was like, that is so fucking stupid and out of character that Sakura would just go like, let me make this the absolute most suspicious thing possible so that all my friends die. I was like, get the fuck out of here with that. You lied to me?
Oh, don't say lie. It makes it sound so dirty. I just thought I'd liven things up a bit. I can't help it if you totally took my little scribbles at face value. You didn't even have Sakura's signature on it. You filthy little... I'm not filthy! I didn't do anything! Can I falsify evidence? Did I affect the outcome of the class trial?
Yes and yes.
The case played out between you and you alone. You were the ones jerking each other around.
Without that suicide note, Hina probably wouldn't have covered it up. So you absolutely did mess with it.
Heck, even if the will had factored in, it still would have been between you guys. So what's the problem? This is all part of the production process. Okay, and scene. Cut!
And?
So then what did she write in her real suicide note?
What are you gonna do?
I'm glad you asked. For your benefit, I shall read it using my melodic, angelic, harmonic narrator voice. But you know, haven't you ever been curious about the whole suicide note thing? Who came up with the idea of leaving a note when you kill yourself in the first place?
Hold on.
Isn't it just so unfortunate? Killing yourself is just so final, you know? You never hear the rest of their story. The truth is lost in the darkness. Kiss me the willies.
Enough already.
Could you get on with it, please?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, jeez. Talk about a buzzkill. Okay, here we go. All right, even. My good friend Hina, there's something I have to tell you. I hate to do it like this, but you need to know. This is my final wish.
As you know, I've been giving information to the one who's imprisoned you here.
It was our first night in this strange school that the mastermind came to see me.
See, the mastermind took control of my family's dojo and demanded I become their tool.
You might not see the importance of a dojo, but my family has watched over it for 300 years. I thought you said 100. No, maybe it was 300.
I couldn't let it be destroyed under my watch, so even if it meant my own life, I had to protect it. That's how I saw things.
However, that was my greatest weakness, and because of that, I made the mistake of giving in to the
What
mastermind.
the mastermind wanted from me was nothing less than murder.
They were probably worried that until the first murder had happened, nothing would move forward. But what neither the mastermind nor I expected was the incident involving Sayaka. So that is about what their conversation was about, I guess? That's so weird, because it's entirely pointless now, right? That scene means nothing whatsoever anymore. Huh. I assumed that was referring to some other, deeper solve. At that point, the plan changed. The mastermind told me to hold off, to wait until we reached another stalemate.
However, as I lived here with all of you, as I lived here with Hina, my resolve began to weaken.
Watching everyone fight with such despair, trying so desperately to stay alive, I saw the weakness in my own heart, the mistake of succumbing to the mastermind, and more than anything,
I cannot betray those who would call me their friend.
that's how I came to feel. So that's why Sakura...
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret.
But apparently that wasn't true, because she immediately then began compromising and regretting.
I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Of course, because of that I decided to reveal her secret, which made everyone else hate her. Her decision to stay true to all of you led directly to all of you hating her for it. Ironic, isn't it? Or maybe oxymoronic? Or just moronic?
Of course, I understand if you all hate me. All of this is because of my own weakness.
I'm perfectly willing to accept whatever attack you may want to make
So
on me.
this is my atonement for betraying you. That's what I had in mind.
But unfortunately, that's not enough. This won't end with just me accepting your hatred.
My own situation has started having an effect on more people than just me, which is exactly what the Mastermind wanted when they revealed my betrayal.
My betrayal brought suspicion, disharmony. The Mastermind knew that eventually it would escalate into someone murdering someone else.
Of course, I'm still responsible for that as well.
I have an obligation to get this situation under control. And to fulfill that obligation, I've decided to do as the Mastermind has commanded. I will do as I was told and commit
I've
murder.
decided the one I'm going to kill is myself.
If the Mastermind demands that I kill someone, then that someone will be me. Then my dojo will be safe, and above all else, none of you will have to kill anyone. Okay, murder categorically. you couldn't possibly have been sure that would work. that Monokuma would take that as you honoring your word, but whatever. When I die, the source of conflict among you all dies with me. For that, I'm willing to give up my
If it
life.
could save you, then sacrificing my own life could have no greater meaning. Whatever you think of me, please know that you are all my most treasured friends.
Bianca right now is like, oh shit. I feel pretty stupid. I've never had people like you in my life. We got that sense that, although she looked up to her father, there was not warmth between them, because she thought it was strange when Makoto gave her a gift. And Sakura didn't feel cornered. She didn't die hating us. She wanted to stop us from fighting? To protect us?
Correct.
She didn't end her own life because she was weak. Quite the opposite, in fact. She was strong. Too strong. That's why she killed herself. She chose death for herself in order to protect the rest of us. To sacrifice so much. No normal person could do that.
However,
It was only her limitless strength that made it possible.
Finally, Hina, I want to apologize to you especially.
The reason I didn't tell you any of this is because I knew you would try to stop me. I'm really, truly sorry. But please, don't be sad. If I can thwart the Mastermind's plans, if I can keep you from killing each other, that's enough for me. This is the path that I have chosen. This is the only way I have left to distinguish myself. And you can use this note to bring the class trial to a quick end. I'm so sorry to ask you to do something so unpleasant, but I have to leave the rest to you. Please, talk to Byakuya, Toko, and Hiro on my behalf. I can't tell anyone about my plan while I'm alive, but I wanted you to understand why I'm doing this. In the end, though, I hope to show myself through actions and not words. Hopefully, then they'll see.
I never saw you as my enemy. You were only ever my friend, who I wanted to help as much as possible. Hina, whatever it takes, survive. Survive along with everyone else. No matter what, just survive.
But
This is... I didn't understand how she felt. Not at all. I thought we were close and still.
What are you gonna
But in
do?
the end, all her meddling was like totally pointless. She died so you guys wouldn't try to kill each other, but she almost ended up doing it anyway. Thanks to you, her death had no purpose at all. In fact, it was because of her stupid meddling that the rest of you nearly bit the big one. She deserves all the blame. Everyone blame her. Go ahead, she deserves it. Now then, the next victim has been decided.
What do you mean, next victim? Nobody here blames anyone. First of all, you're in the wrong for tricking Hina with that fake suicide note. And plus, Sakura's death wasn't a waste.
What?
Because she made us remember. We're not enemies that hate each other. We're friends who need to work together.
You know?
Damn straight. This is all because of our misplaced hatred.
Well,
I don't blame her. I can't blame her. And nobody can blame Hina either. Whether or not there was a spy never really mattered. Because the one we need to destroy is you. Nobody else.
What do you want?
What the heck? That's not how it's supposed to go. But anyway, are you sure about that? This killing game is a competition between all of you, remember?
Hey.
Your enemy is each other.
He's absolutely right about that.
Ah, lovely Byakuya, you understand, don't you?
This is a life or death elimination match. The only way to survive is to win. There can be no doubt that those are the rules of the game. Which is why I am bowing out of the game.
Naturally.
Sakura and Hina were both willing to sacrifice their own lives to deny the reality of the game. Thanks to them, it would appear the others have cast aside their fear for this game.
Don't make me repeat
There's no point in participating in a game which has lost that sense of excitement. Which is why I will no longer be participating in it.
What?
Well, what's going on here?
Now I have only one thing to look forward to.
It's all clear.
And that is to heap the harshest possible punishment onto the one who thinks they can control me. Byakuya, does this mean... Don't misunderstand. I am moved by some thoughtless sentimentalism, if that's what you're thinking.
Wherever master goes, I go. And if the mastermind turns out to be a guy, maybe I can catch on fire. Everyone.
Hey,
Well, now can you say that Sakura's death had no meaning?
Huh, how boring. But nothing good can come of this. I'm still gonna be the one having the fun time.
The fun time?
Anyway, let's forget about that good-for-nothing backstabber and get back on track. It's the moment you've all been waiting for! Punishment time! Wait, but Sakura was technically the killer, right? And she's dead!
You're not gonna... Is it me?
Oh, heavens no. Just because the Blackened is dead doesn't mean I can just sub in whatever old student I want.
You're gonna mutilate her body in some awful way?
Didn't I tell you? I'm very particular about the bear times one rule. But I spent so much time preparing my special punishment, it'd be a shame to let it go to waste.
So yeah, he was just completely bullshitting when he said he didn't know who the Blackened was, I guess. And I suppose when he said he couldn't punish her.
So for my special punishment, I prepared a special guest! A special guest?
Let's give
That's-
it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
I'm not looking forward to what he's gonna do to her. Oh, never mind. That could be bad. Great, they're gonna watch me get Chihiro murdered twice. Going to put a wrecking ball down on him. Excavator Destroyer. God, that's hard to read. Damn, it's a tough-ass laptop to survive that long. But it was only a matter of time before we, before our alter ego went down, I suppose. Although, rip him too. But we don't know how, at what point he got a hold of him, so it's possible alter ego still got something to happen outside. Jill seems pretty pleased with this turn of events. It's possible he still managed to get the word out somehow, and maybe that's why Monokuma's feeling so testy. You suck, man! You turned him into a mangled hunk of junk!
That really took it out of me. Maybe I'll go grill a plate of chicken. After all, they say for post-workout grub, chicken's where it's at, and all about the grilled goodness.
Really distasteful after Sakura just died.
Fried, boiled, give me a break. The color, the smell, the succulence, grilled is where it's at.
I realize how dangerous it could be, but still, I have to do this. I'm scared, but I can handle it. I don't really understand why, but when I think about everyone else, my courage starts to grow. You might think I'm just some inhuman AI, but it's true. So, it's okay. If it's for the sake of everyone else, I won't be afraid. He didn't look terribly afraid, if I'm honest. Alter Ego's words raced through my heart and soul, and my disbelief gave way to raw anger. The anger turned to fury, black and muddy and boiling over. It bubbled up through my body, quickly overflowing and shooting out of my mouth. How dare you! That was my friend! How dare you kill him!
What's the matter?
Huh? You were friends with a laptop? That's pretty pathetic. What's next, friends with a basketball? Wilson! Shut the hell up! He wasn't just a laptop, he was my friend, and you killed him. Is this what you call animism, where a soul dwells within all things, even like laptops? Well, you can call it whatever you want. Bottom line is, it got in my way. It was trying to find things out all sneaky.
just as I thought.
So, you finally noticed him.
Actually,
Finally! No, I knew about it from the very beginning. I knew Chihiro was doing something with the laptop, and I knew you were using it to analyze data. I knew exactly how it was all gonna play out from the start. What?
So they're saying he did just notice because of all the obvious bullshit. That's fairly annoying. Yet another instance where they were all like, doesn't it make sense now that he didn't notice all that shit was going on because he actually did and just didn't mention it? It's like, yeah, but they should have known that. The fact that apparently he was being taken around to like every room imaginable without being hidden. Like, how could Chihiro have possibly fixed it up anywhere without him noticing? What?
What are you thinking?
Knew when you were still cocky enough to let us take the plunge?
yep.
Well, I mean, the data in that laptop, it was, I guess you could call it a gift from me to you.
Phew.
Or maybe more like a reward in honor of you being able to unlock something so difficult.
Hey,
So of course I didn't care if you got access to that. But sneaking into the network was just too personal, so I had to do a little, you know, reformatting.
I want to be able to help.
I want to keep being helpful to everyone. I want to work as hard as everyone else so that we can all get out of here. Alter Ego wanted to fight for us. Wanted to help at the risk of his own life, and for that, he was killed.
Yeah, the punishment time has made me feel a billion times better. Experiencing a meaningless death is so soothing. It makes me remember that every low can get even lower.
So are they just saying the second Makoto and Kyoko left Alter Ego alone, he got in there before he got a chance to connect to the Ethernet, which takes precisely 0 seconds? I don't really understand what they're saying happened. The Alter Ego must have gotten some word out, right? Signed into an email, made an account on Roblox, I don't know. Something? No. His death wasn't meaningless either. Everybody who's died so far, the deaths of each and every one of our friends, they all make us stronger. I swear to God, someday you will pay for this.
Holy moly, you're super mad, like just unreasonably upset.
Well?
Okay, time to bring things to a close. Oh, but before that, I need to read the postscript.
What?
Postscript.
Yep.
Yep, there's still a bit more left to Sakura's note. Do I have your attention? Okay, then here we go. Prepare your ears for the dulcet tones of yours, Julie. One other thing, Hina. There's something I'd like you to tell the others. Hopefully it will act as a clue to help you unravel the mystery of this school.
What? A clue?
Hina.
I've spoken with the mastermind off and on about the whole time I've been here, and so I've learned one thing, which is the mastermind has done something to us. I think what they've done is...
Whoopsie daisy, that was a close one. Another word in that we would have been hip deep in spoiler territory. Okay, I don't want to ruin this prize, so book club is dismissed for today.
What? You can't just stop at the most important bit!
It makes your brain rumble and tumble, huh? It makes you so bad you don't even freaking know, huh? That's the whole point, stupid! It's to get back at all of you for hardening your resolve. Fine, but at least Sakura's note. I could never let any of you greaseballs have it. But,
Well, he just said he wasn't going to let you read the last bit.
Too bad.
sucks for you, loser! Wait, what's this?
What?
What is it now?
What?
There's one last line in the note.
And let me just say this to the mastermind. I'm not going to just lay down and die. I will fight you, you bastard. No matter what. And that's seriously it.
Yeah. Wow, what a stubborn loser, huh?
She won't lay down and die? She'll fight you?
Ah, whatever. Who cares what some dead muzzlehead has to say?
Does that mean it was written before she rolled him?
Well?
Okay, I'm out of here. You guys should try to go get some rest, you know? And maybe take some time to reconsider how you approach this school life of yours. Are you sure you don't want to graduate? Can you really cut free from the regrets of the outside world? Think about that. Think long, think hard.
Those were his parting words to us before disappearing. But what was that all about? Sakura's final message, her last clue to help us solve the mystery of the school. The mastermind did something to us? Kyoko said something like that before, didn't she? It was after Celeste's trial was over.
You.
What did you do? What did you do to my body?
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body? The mastermind did something to our bodies. What are they saying the mastermind did? What did the mastermind do to us? I mean, did the mastermind plant a bomb in us or something? If we try to leave the school, a sensor goes off and the bomb explodes? I've seen stuff like that in movies and comics and stuff, so it's not totally unheard of. No, I feel awful just thinking about it. I can't afford to acknowledge such thoughts like that.
Yo.
So, the class trial's over and Monokuma's gone. So now what do we do?
Yes.
What else is there other than to head back on? Oh yeah, okay, let's get out of here. But, Hina must still feel responsible. Dial back that ego a bit, girl. The kind of mystery someone like you could pose is absolutely no threat.
Not possible.
I would never have lost to that kind of challenge. You did. What are you talking about? Kyoko and Makoto were the ones who figured everything out.
Stop talking.
Shut up. Seriously, I'm sorry. How many times do you plan to apologize? How about you make that the last one? I haven't reached a point where I need someone apologizing to me more than once.
sorry.
Okay, I see what you mean. Then, I'll try.
That totally wasn't normal, right? Did you just capture his flag?
No.
I cannot stop the existence of someone who would disturb the romance between me and Master! What are you talking about? That's absolutely not what's happening here. How would I ever go for a sleazeball like him? Sleazeball?
What the heck?
That's right, I called you a sleazeball, because you are! Sleazeball!
Apparently you still have a death wish. More biting sarcasm. No wonder you don't have any friends.
No, no, no.
Hey, stop fighting with Master! You're making me jealous! I want the abuse give and take! Me!
Well, at least you stopped apologizing. I guess it's not so easy for everyone to act like friends. Well, that's just how it is for now. And so Sakura's class trial came to an end, and we returned to the world of Hope's Peak Academy. But the story wasn't even close to over. Time kept marching on. We all went back to our rooms, and before long, night snuck up on us. Ding dong.
This is a school announcement. It is now 10 p.m. As such, it is officially nighttime. Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited. Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Nighttime descended and pulled me down along with it, down into sleep. I couldn't remember the last time I'd fallen into such a deep sleep, but the night still wasn't over for me. A voice. I could hear a voice. Wake up. Wake up. Huh? The voice dragged me from slumber into a hazy half-consciousness. My eyelids were like lead.
Kyoko?
Yes, it's me.
Huh? Kyoko?
I said yes.
So Kyoko's here.
Wait, what?
In a flash, I was wide awake. What are you doing here?
It's true.
I'm here to wake you up. Oh, I see. Wait, but my door! It was unlocked. You're unbelievably careless.
It was unlocked? Are you serious?
Hey,
Always. And you don't have to overreact like that every time you're surprised.
What time is it?
correct.
3 o'clock. In the morning, of course.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
3 a.m.? Why was Kyoko waking me up at this hour? I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I need to find out what Kyoko's doing here. I'm sorry I missed. By the way, she was just standing over him like, get up. It's so late. What happened?
Makoto.
I have a favor I need to ask. What's your favor?
So,
Remember what Sakura said at the end of her note. I'm not going to just lay down and die. I will fight you. I want to find out what she meant by that.
Okay, but how do you plan to do that?
Then Kyoko put her lips next to my ear and whispered. The data center on the 4th floor. What?
goodbye.
I'll meet you there.
Without another word, she was gone.
What the? Her words reverberated in my half-dazed head.
Data center? But I thought it was locked?
Yeah, maybe we'll call that here, shall we? That sounds like a good place to stop. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit up and down on that one. On the one hand, I think the idea that Toko and Yasuhiro thought they killed her and were trying to cover up for that reason is very cool and excellent for the characters in the mystery. The idea that Hina found out that Sakura had taken her own life and tried to cover it up, I'm like, I don't know. So I was right that there's no way Sakura would have left things in a place that intentionally obfuscated things for everyone else. I'm like, it feels like a bit of a cop-out, I guess. That the last thing we saw of her, Monokuma, was like, I will oppose you and I will defeat you no matter what it takes! And then she's just like, I'll sacrifice myself for everyone else, rah! It just feels like a little bit disconnected. Of course, we're maybe about to see some more to that plan of hers, whatever she meant. But I can see Sakura thinking that writing the suicide note that she actually wrote, not the nonsense one, would be a way to atone without putting other people in danger of getting it wrong and all being executed. Like, I think that's a fair enough assumption on her part, because up to this point, Monokuma hasn't tampered with the evidence, like, loads and loads, as far as we know. So for him to just take that one thing... Basically, this is the game's way of telling us, go fuck yourself about ever trying to think about logic again, because Monokuma can change whatever he wants. Character motivations mean nothing, evidence means nothing, you know what I mean? Like, it's annoying for that reason, I guess. Not that I'm saying I think Monokuma's just gonna be altering crime scenes left and right from this point onward. I don't think that, but when you write it that way, what you're saying is it's possible, and so it will always be in a player's mind. Always. I will never get that thought out of there. And that's annoying, because then I'm never gonna be able to focus on the character and stories and stuff as much as I would have been able to without thinking of that. What if Monokuma just changed things again to make us think the motive was different? So I'm annoyed about that for that reason. Do I think that Hina might have tried to cover up Sakura's death because she didn't want anyone to think Sakura was that hopeless and defeated at the end, because she had received the fake suicide note that made it seem like that was what was going on at that time. Do I think Hina would have tried to cover up the fact that it was a suicide so that no one thought Sakura was as miserable as Hina thought? Maybe. I can see her in a misguided moment of not realizing how dangerous that is for everyone else. Doing that. Her being like, I think everyone here deserves to die because clearly we pushed her to that point. It feels a bit of a stretch for her character to me. And they've also done the thing where they've called out something that doesn't make sense within the world. And by calling it out, they're like, but we can still do it because we mentioned how much it doesn't make sense. In that Kyoko specifically said to everyone, and everyone heard it, and I think agreed, we can't be fighting amongst ourselves because this is exactly what Sakura wouldn't want, even before Sakura died. So to imagine that Hina took that, internalized it, then saw Sakura take her own life and was like, fuck it, she does want everyone else to die. This is what'll make her happy. She hated all of us. I don't think Hina's that emotionally, like, brain dead. Like, I get people do strange things when they're in grieving. But that's my suspension of disbelief is no longer intact with Hina's character on that point. So in terms of mystery, that trial was great. In terms of character motivation, it's up and down. Some of it I liked and thought was fit, and some of it I didn't really buy. And what do I know? It just means, well, all that probably means is I know nothing about the characters, and everything I thought I knew about them is wrong, and I should be ashamed of myself. So on that note, that's all for now. Next video on the channel is going to be a slightly odd little one. I won't say what it is just in case it doesn't actually end up happening, but I think it will. A very random choice it is, and that is all for now. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! Or I can whack the head in particular, but once it's down, then we can just go whack it. Oh, I'm grounding. Sorry, ER, just gonna have some of this and get some of that, and why am I not still fist sucking? I am. And some of that, and some of that, and some of that. Okay, let's go down real quick.